I'll stay for a little bit. Well, you don't put 20 years. I can get away with that. All right, Roger. Let her rip.
Was it a very productive practice today, or did you guys just start late?
I sent the wrong time.
No, it was good. It was good. We got our stuff done, and one more day tomorrow, and then go play. Kind of like any other game where you have, the season kind of falls that way. When you play so many Wednesday, Saturday games, and you usually have Monday and Tuesday to get ready, but because this game's on Thursday, it ends up being Tuesday and Wednesday to get ready. So, we're good to go tomorrow, after tomorrow.
Are these players too young to know the history of this rivalry and what it meant? That's what it's meant to this
Probably. They're too young to remember who we played our last game against. So, I do believe that, there's been so many other things happen, in the last 6, 7, 8 years. All that time that we didn't play them, people stepped in and filled the void. It used to be that, UConn and Tennessee were kind of the standard bearers of, hey, put this game on television because, even men will watch this game, It became that, and, I think things evolved, and the game grew, and there's more really, really good teams, and, there's a lot of attention on the game, and it's not just a lot of attention on 2 particular programs. It's, spread nationwide. So yeah, it's not what it used to be, and they don't know any of the history of it, I don't think.
So is that something where you will? Is that something where you will tell them about it, or do you just? Yeah.
No. I don't feel one way or the other, about it. I think maybe they might, because they're going to hear so much about it. It may be that, but certainly not from us. Other than they're a really good team playing at home, and they have a style of play that's not easy when you don't see it every day.
Do you know Kim at all?
A little bit, not a lot. I think the time from leading up to the event at Barclays, I really didn't know her before that.
Stylistically, are they like the old school DePaul except bigger?
We used to play like that, to be honest with you, when Renee and Maya and Tina and KG and that whole crew, where we would press every possession, no matter what, make or miss, and we were like that when we had Asia, Tamika, Swin, Sue, their freshman year. We played like that, and that's why all the games were like 100 to whatever. So it's something that I think if you're trying to play a lot of players and you have comparable players, it's a great way to get a lot of people in the game. It's fast-paced. It's, again, it's not something that you see every day. And that's why, what are you going to do? You're going to change everything that you do for one game and then go back to who you were, for the rest of whatever's happening. So you just got to go out and you got to manage it, find out what the matchups are once you get there. That's the other thing. The matchups are kind of difficult because they sub like 3 or 4 guys at a time. Boom, boom, boom. Like, it's like an ice hockey over the ring, over the boards. Here they come. So it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be complicated. And so, anytime you can put yourself in those situations, it's a good thing.
A lot of people were surprised when Tennessee made that hire. Obviously, she has no ties to the program. She was new to D1. Kind of given all that, do you feel like that makes the dynamic of this game any different just because she's so new to she didn't have those Tennessee ties? Or?
Yeah, I think, I said this earlier to somebody, whoever's coaching here, when I'm not coaching, they're not going to they're not going to have the same vibe, you know? So I don't think that this is what Pat, Holly, Kelly, now Kim. So that's a lot, you know, and with each one, with each passing one, I think it gets a little more normal because it became something that wasn't normal. So now it's just a really good game on our schedule, and I think a lot of people were probably surprised when they saw that higher. But a lot of times, that's what's needed. Sometimes that's what's needed, to go outside and get a different point of view, different style, and their ADs made a lot of great hires, and this looks like it's going to turn out to be a really good one as well.
Their team too, that they can be down, 15,
Oh, yeah,
20,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then they roar back.
Yeah,
they're
that's
never really
that's
out of it.
that's the big difference in basketball today. You used to get a 20-point lead and you would think the game's over, and the way the game's played today, and certainly the way they play, a 20-point lead is a 10-point lead used to be back in the day. So yeah, no, I've seen them, get down and people think they're out and they're not. And I think you've got to play it out all the way to the end. So that's what makes them also quite dangerous, when you've got that mentality that they're never out of it. They're
Geno,
never
do
out
you
of it.
remember the first time you went to Thompson-Boling Arena? Maybe when you were at Virginia?
No, we never played them there.
Okay.
I don't think it was there. We didn't play them.
Stokely was 87, okay.
Yeah.
But the first time you were in there, the big building and all that, and your original impressions, and when you walk in towards the building on Thursday, what are your flashbacks?
I don't remember a lot about the first one, other than we had just lost at Syracuse, as a matter of fact, and it was in December, and we had just lost at Syracuse, and now we have to go down there and play, and Jamel's senior year, Jamel and Jennifer's senior year, and obviously it's one of the bigger on-campus arenas in the country, if not the biggest. And it wasn't yet the craziness that it became, but it was the third time in less than 12 months that we played them. We played them Martin Luther King Day, we played them in the national championship game, and then we played them at their place in December. So it was crazy. But the environment is, again, at the time, there weren't very many places like that in the country, Certainly that size with that kind of energy, there wasn't any place like that on campus anywhere.
Do you know why they built it that size originally?
Well, probably to be bigger than Rope Arena.
Exactly.
I'm sure.
I'm just wondering, do you think, when you walk in, do you think of Diana punching the stanchion or?
I said to somebody the other day, what I remember most about playing down there and playing Tennessee anywhere back in those days was more times than not, if you looked out on the floor, there's like 7 or 8 Hall of Famers playing. And you knew it back then that they were. And you knew this is not going to be a normal game, and this is not going to be an easy game, and it's going to be wild. And one game particularly stands out for us. There was with the opening tap. They scored, we scored, they scored, we scored, and there's no dead balls, there's no fouls called, and 4 minutes went by, and I mean there was nothing, and there were 10, and if I named them all, you would say it's not possible that those 10 could be on the floor at the same time, and I've never seen anything like it in my life, and they were begging for a loose ball to go out of bounds, somebody to foul somebody, anything. And that to me was the greatest sequence I've ever been a part of with them. Certainly, and it was down there.
Is that the reason why you wanted to restart the series?
I think the question came up, about playing them, and I think there was some financial things involved where we made a contribution to the Pat Summitt Foundation. So there was a good reason to play the game, other than, hey, let's try to renew this, because that wasn't going to do it for me. Like I don't need that. So yeah, and technically they're supposed to, that game when we restarted it was supposed to be here, but I don't know if Azie's ever played down there, but I know Paige is not. Oh, but Paige played as a freshman. Yeah.
But
They-
it's COVID.
During COVID, and there was no, so I think part of it too, to redo it this time was, those guys were all excited about, hey, we've heard a lot about it, but it's more of wanting to experience that, whether it'll be the same or not, I don't know.
Does it
I
make
just
you,
know they're good.
does it make you feel any type of way that it isn't what it used to? It's not, it is just another great game on the schedule.
Yeah, no, I'm happy that it's not what it was at one time. It just became stupid and became something I didn't want to be a part of anymore. I think our fans are stupid. I think their fans are stupid. And how they reacted to the whole thing. It just became something other than a basketball game, and after a while that just got old. And now I'm old and I don't want any part of it.
It was Yankees Red Sox for a while. It was that. Nasty.
Yeah, that died too, didn't it? That doesn't seem to be what it used to be. Everybody thinks it is, but it's one-sided a lot of years. It's very rare now that you have, and for a while there, when we restarted this, it was kind of one-sided, like we were, whatever we were, and their program had slipped. So what made it so great in the beginning was that every game was 1 versus 2, and NCAA tournament, and national championship games, and so it was incredibly huge, that game. And then it wasn't. Kind of like Notre Dame became that game. They were in our league, and we had, we're playing them 12 times in 3 years, whatever the hell it was. Was that what it was?
Yeah.
15 times in 4 years.
15 times in 4 years.
Yeah.
It's hard to sneak into a rivalry when you got those two things going on,
Yeah, Kelly Ferris played against him
15 times. Yeah. Yeah.
Gotta do a 30 for
Do you
30
feel
on
like
that.
you still have something to learn about this team with these 2 games coming up, or is it like, you know pretty much all you need to know at this point?
No, I don't know. I don't know anything I need to know at this point, I don't think, about some of these guys. But there are aspects of our game that I want to get a better picture of. I want to see the things that that we've been talking about, harping about all year. We're not getting to the free throw line, so that's, I don't know if that'll happen or not. We have, we don't offensive rebound, so I don't know if maybe we get better at that. I don't know. We keep them off the boards, whether we can or not. I don't know. We were giving up a lot of threes, so can we keep a team that wants to shoot 30 of them? Only shooting 28 of them, that'll be a win. I don't know. So yeah, and then handling the, I think what they do really, really well is they make the game somewhat chaotic, because you never know what's coming at you and when. So, we matured enough to manage that, those are things that go a long way in the NCAA tournament, being able to do that.
You talked the other day about pace being an important part of your recent success. I mean, do you feel like you are ready to dictate some pace and take some of that chaos out of the game?
I don't know. The thing that's helped us is we played full court and we play fast. So what they do really, really well is they play full court and they play really fast. So something's got to give, right? If we both do it and we both do it really, really well, it should be a great game, and both teams are playing to their strengths. If one of us doesn't do it really, really well, it's going to be really bad. So, yeah, I would love to keep the pace up. And that's when we're at our best. And it'll be a real test because that's when they're at their best.
What have you seen from Aubrey since she's come back, the kind of progress she made, and, from game 1 to whatever it's been, 2-3 weeks now, and then, looking forward with her, and how will her experience be a key, if possible, these next couple weeks?
I don't know. I think that's to be determined, like today was a good example. Today, the thing that we talked about a lot, like we're not exactly a great offensive rebounding team, but she's an offensive rebounding machine. So automatically, when she's in the game, we've gotten better at that. We're not great at it, but we've gotten better at that. And because of that, now, Ashley Shea wants to be an offensive rebounder. She's constantly in there. So, Morgan Shelley wants to be. I think the momentum that I think Aubrey kind of brought has kind of caught on with a couple of our guys. So that's been the biggest plus, is how many extra possessions she gets us when she's out there. I think her quickness gets her to the basket. And in our offense, she has some freedom to do that. So, it's not been a lot of games, right? How many has it been? 3, 4 maybe? I don't even know. How many has it been? 4. It's not a lot. So, still a work in progress, I think.
How much does the messaging change when you're trying to look at your long-term goal for the players and then going and doing scout for a team like Tennessee?
That's why we try as best we can keep all of it the same for as long as you can. So it won't be any different for, obviously, what that team does is different, so you have to prepare for that team. And then, when we come back Friday and Saturday, we'll get ready for Providence. It'll be a different kind of scout because they're different, but it won't be less, or the message won't be less, the film won't be shorter, everything will be the same. Just some teams have a lot that you have to prepare for, some not as much. But all in all, you're always thinking ahead to how does this translate into NCAA tournament play? Every day, whether it's training camp, and you're going over things, you're going home thinking, all right, how's that help us in the NCAA tournament? You don't want to minimize the regular season, but every game you play is almost like a dress rehearsal for the NCAA tournament, and you hope that you learn something from every one of them.
Super Bowl plans? You gonna get back in time after the?
We do. We play Sunday at noon, I believe.
Plenty of time to
And
get back.
by the time, that's an hour and a half, not even an hour drive, hour and 15-minute drive. Game's not till 6:30, 7 o'clock, whatever the hell it is. So yeah, we'll be front and center. I think why is everybody bitching about the Chiefs winning all the time?
Chief fatigue.
It's like the old past.
Sounds familiar.
I mean, I like teams that win all the time. I like the teams that keep repeating as champions. I like that.
So the Chiefs are bad for football.
You know, yeah, they're starting to say that, right? The
All
Chiefs
right.
are bad for football. People cheat, they help them win. Jesus, there's a lot going on there.
And they're
But,
kind of
there's not a lot coming out of our camp in Philly. So maybe the silence is not a bad thing.
Now, are you torn at all? Because Spags was
Yeah, I know. I stay in touch with Spags, but yeah, it's. I think it's a great rivalry, even though they don't play each other often. They've played each other now the second time in 3 years in the Super Bowl, and we were one shitty call away from winning the whole thing, right? We got screwed. And people talk. Maybe there's something to say about that the Chiefs get every call. I forgot about that call.
It's a blatant hold.
A blatant hold. But how can it be a hold when the ball's thrown 30 yards over the guy's head?
Not.
It's not.
It's not.
Saquon's going off for one.
It's not. It's not. It's a hold if the guy has a chance. The guy had no chance.
Do you know their old line coach is a Southern guy, Southern Connecticut?
No.
Jeff Stoutland coached at Southern Connecticut.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
It's amazing how many people with Connecticut ties are involved in Major League sports for such a small state. It's pretty amazing. Like they just saw the passing of Faye Vincent. I remember I would get a note from him all the time, about our team. He was an avid women's basketball fan. It's just for a small state. I'm always surprised at how many people have Connecticut ties that are in those situations.
Prediction for the game? Got a number?
No. But those games, they tend to be high-scoring affairs, don't they? For the most part, lately.
Defense gets tired.
Huh?
Defense gets tired. 33% longer game.
Is that what it is? 33% longer game. Yeah. Well, man, what's the spread?
2 or 1.5, depending on where you're looking.
2 or 1.5. Oh, God, how can you make a line like that? 1.5. That's, I don't know. Maybe, I like that 32-29 score that they had with the Bills. I think that's a great score. I like that score, 32-29.
Documented.
32-29. The other guys, the good guys. 32-29, the good guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.